Alright, you YouTube nerds. So, with my LTD M1000 Purple Burst that had the 5766 EMGs in, I ended up having a guy reach out to me and offer me basically a straight swap, right? And he said, hey, I've got this LTD MH1000 Evertune. I never use it because I don't really care for the regular fixed style bridges, tune-o-matic, blah, blah, blah. And I was going to swap out the pickups in that guitar, but I wasn't really feeling like it. So I said, yeah, sure, why not? I'll take it. And so, I ended up with this baby. You guys can see. So this isn't going to be a review or demo of the Evertune bridge itself by any means. More so my impression on the guitar, maybe my impression on the Evertune, and explaining a couple things that maybe you guys didn't even know about Evertune. So when I got this, it was in standard tuning. It either had 9s or 10s on it. I can't remember exactly. So I ended up restringing the thing, and when I restrung it, I tuned it up to speed as you would any normal guitar without really fiddling too much with the Evertune bridge itself, because I got time, whatever. So I ended up putting new strings on, tuned it up, and let it sit. That was 2 days ago. I have not checked the tuning. No, I take that back. I did check the tuning later on the same day and played around with it a little bit, made sure it was tuned, and I haven't touched it since those 2 days. So I want to check just to see. I'm not even going to look at my tuner. I'm just going to play for a second, see what it sounds like before I even check. Well, I can tell you that's pretty close. Alright, so we're a little off. Okay, well, right off the bat, I can tell you right now that these have the same pickups as my Schecter Damien Platinum, but for some reason, the EMG81s, they just sound, in this guitar, sound a little more full, and when I'm playing high gain, they sound meaner. Normally, an electric guitar, the tone wood doesn't make that big of a deal, or that big of a difference. But I'm starting to think that maybe it does. I mean, it's a neck through, the same as my Schecter, and for whatever reason, these pickups sound different. Dare I say, a little better in this guitar. So that was the first thing that really kind of stood out to me. So just something to point out. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and check my tuning. We already know at least one of my strings is off, probably the A. Let's go right down the line. Low C, just a tad short, tad low. G's good, C, F. No, A's actually good, and D is good. So what was I missing? Was I playing the wrong chord? That does happen. You know what it is? I'm not used to a guitar being perfectly in tune. That must be what it is. And it resonates better and offers a little better sustain. Part of it's obviously the pickups, of course, because active pickups, they just shoot that signal continuously. But I think a part of it is also the build and the wood that they use and the neck overall. I haven't done any neck adjustments here. So one thing I want to mention about the Evertune bridge, okay, you know, if you go by the tutorials, if you go by the instructions, they're always going to say, you know, tune it by the bridge, tune it using the bridge, and not at the headstock. Now, that's to get the full capability of the Evertune. However, it is not necessarily required. You can absolutely tune your guitar as if this was just a standard fixed or tunematic bridge. You can absolutely tune up here at the headstock. It does not have to be down here. And that's what I've been doing, just because I haven't really had time to sit down and really go through it and learn it, because this is the first time I've used or even seen in person an Evertune bridged guitar. But anyway, let's see. Let's just, I'm going to shoot over to some high gain. Boost is on, as always, at least for the little zombie. And the other thing I noticed, I had to turn the gain down a little bit more on this when I'm boosting it with this guitar compared to the Schecter. Again, pickups, maybe, I don't know. I mean, like I said, same bridge pickup at least. I know that for sure. For starters, I actually have a couple strings that are in zone 2, what they call it. My A string is in zone 2, which means that, you know, bends are not going to be affecting it. Right? But my D string is not in zone 2. So my high C and my A are in zone 2. No idea what I did to do that, to achieve that. Whatever. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's actually a really nice guitar. I thought that the painted neck would actually bother me because normally I don't like painted necks. That's one of the reasons why I have the Schecter Damien Platinum. It's just, you know, it's a satin. It's all satin finish, including the back of the neck. When I had a Schecter Hellraiser C1FR, you know, it had a painted neck, and it always drove me nuts. And I wonder if that's only because it was a little thicker than this. So with this being a little thinner than the Hellraiser, even though it's painted, it feels better to me. It feels like I don't get stuck as much as I did with the Hellraiser, which is good. not bad overall. Like I said, it's a great guitar. I have noticed that lately it seems like a lot of LTDs, especially the MH, M1000s, all those series, they've actually dropped in price a little bit. Not a ton, but you know, 3 or 4 months ago, these were all going for I think just under $1,500, maybe just over 1,500. And now, you know, you can get the 1000 LTD 1000 series for 1,300 now. Not a huge price drop by any means, but it might also affect the used market a little bit. Where if you're looking for an LTD and you don't want to spend, or you can't spend that much money, you can probably find one for anywhere between 900, maybe 11. You know, in really good, I'd say, you know, pretty much excellent condition. You know, I mean, even this one, very light surface scratches on the back, nothing that I have a problem with, and everything up front, well, you know, this one's a 2000. This one is 2018, and my my M1000 I think was a 2021, but it doesn't make that big of a difference. I mean, as long as it's well cared for, and I can tell, you know, right off the bat, as soon as I saw it and looked over it for a few seconds, this was definitely well cared for. But anyway, you know, so like I said, I mean, if you're curious about the Evertune bridge, and if you're like me and you have trouble conforming, don't worry about it. You know, you'll get the hang of it eventually. And in the meantime, you can still use the headstock tuning pegs for tuning as if you would any other guitar. Obviously, the benefit of the Evertune is to use the Evertune like it was meant to be used. But in the meantime, like I said, it's not do or die, you know. And I think overall, because you get the option to use either one, it's no loss. And I can tell you right now that so far, out of all the guitars that I've had to restring, you know, and in this case also up the gauge, you know, slightly thicker gauge for drop C. This one has held up better tuning wise while the strings are brand new than anyone else. I mean, with the exception of pretty much one string being slightly flat, this has already been holding the tuning very well. So I'm already impressed. And I'm not even at the point where I've got full use of the Evertune, at least not completely set up yet. So, you know, I think overall this is a really good guitar. And if you can find one lightly used for around $1,000 or even a little less, I think you should absolutely do it if you're not missing, if you don't think you're going to miss out on having a Floyd Rose, or if you already have enough Floyd Rose guitars and you want something a little different. I think this is a great option. So overall, I'm really happy with it. I know the guy that ended up trading me this for my M1000. He's super happy with that, and I guess can't go wrong. All right, guys. A lot of people that, you know, will have their own opinions, saying that the Evertune is super easy to learn, super easy to set up. No, it's not. It's a little bit of a learning curve. When I say that, I'm not talking about a night and day difference necessarily between this and a Floyd Rose, but it's just different. There's no way else to really explain it. But yeah, that was the big thing here, is I wanted to point out is that you don't have to use it the exact way it was intended. You can use it like a traditional fixed bridge or tune-o-matic bridge. So I don't know, if you guys have any questions or comments or want to tell me I suck or whatever, go for it. Either way, thanks.